Hey everybody, welcome back to Girls Unscripted. My name is Kate.
And I'm Carolyn. This week we cover a Bravo event that our very own Kate Riccio went to, where she met James, Tom, and Ally Lewber. We're also going to discuss the Love Island reunion. We're also talking about Ariana Madix getting arrested, Lala and Scheana joining the Valley, and Schwartz filming Summer House. It's all coming to you right now on Girls Unscripted. Welcome to Girls Unscripted, everybody. This is our weekly Gab episode. My name's Carolyn.
And I'm Kate, and we missed you. And I'm sorry that we didn't tell you last week that we were going on a break.
It was a spontaneous break, which I kind of called going into it. I knew it'd be tight. Kate, tell them what happened.
Okay, well, Carolyn and I did have a talk like a couple weeks ago, too. And Carolyn made a really good point. She goes, we've done almost like 50 episodes now and have only taken 1 week off. Like, we're going to need to start taking more weeks off before we burn out. And then we weren't planning on taking a break last week. And there was just so much happening. There wasn't a day. And, you know, all of us, our producer, like everyone was like, this is such a crazy week. And we were just like, let's just take a break and we'll bring it back next week. And I think you guys aren't mad at us.
Also, Kate was in Vegas.
Yeah, but I still, hey. I still would have went for it. I still would have recorded, but I didn't watch the reunion yet. It was a whole thing.
Right. So, and I was moving all weekend, so I'm sure this is thrilling to no one. So we are so excited to be back.
Well, people were messaging saying like, where'd you guys go? Like we had some people messaged me on TikTok because we made announcements on Instagram, but they were like, we don't follow you on Instagram, which I was like, follow us on Instagram. This one person was like, I genuinely was concerned for you guys. You put out an episode every week and you didn't this week. And I was afraid something happened, which was so pretty sweet. And then they go, they were like, I've watched enough true crime documentaries to know when something's like wrong. I'm like, whoa, okay, we're okay.
This would have been the first, like, they had an episode every week, but then 1 week. I've been watching the Scott Peterson documentary, so forget
Oh, how is it?
Well, there's 2 right now. There's like 1 on Netflix and now 1 on Peacock. So I'm like, bouncing around.
Is it like the 10-year mark or something? Like, why is there just simultaneously 2 Scott Peterson documentaries?
No idea. None.
Okay. We're in our Scott Peterson era. It's Tom Sandoval's fault. Tom Sandoval brought up Scott Peterson on Vanderpump Rules. He brought him back into the world.
In hindsight, I'm like, how the hell did Tom Sandoval remember who Scott Peterson was? Like, that's actually like
that is kind of a
random
deep pull.
Callback.
Yeah.
Weird true crime poll.
Well, a little personal gab. I'm noticing a different background for Carolyn. It looks like you're in the middle of the move. I mean, it doesn't look like you're in the middle of it because it actually looks quite clean back there, but
a little too clean, which means we're in the middle of it. Like, we're going to make this a dojo thing. Also, I think I'm going to make it a whole vibe in the bedroom and start filming there. Not like that, Kate. Get your head out of the gutter.
Just a little good vibe for filming. You're going to make the bedroom your little recording studio? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm working on it. It's like coming together, but I've never decorated anything in my life because I've like always just been like, what do I have from college? And just put that on the walls. So I do miss like
the simplicity of just hanging up a poster, like no frame, thumbtacks,
Scotch tape. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like I miss
Straight
those
on
days.
The wall.
Or it's like you have a big empty wall. Oh, what could I put there? Tapestry. Like I don't even need to think twice.
Or what was that? The Polaroid lines?
I never had one of those. And that would be something that I would have.
I had like bulletin boards with all the pictures on it.
Oh, yes. Pictures of I was going through old photos from college and it was just crazy how like you just had so many photos of like your friends, your boyfriends, your family. It's like, and now I look around my house, I'm like, I don't have a single photo of a human being anywhere around here. Anywhere.
It's funny because my girlfriends from college, we try to meet once a year in Virginia on President's Day weekend. And every year we take a photo. And every year they send us the photo. They're so nice to do this. They frame it and send it to us. But I was unpacking boxes and I was like, I don't know what to do with these 10 photos of the exact same people at the exact same place. I was like, is there something fun I could do with it? I don't know. So any suggestions, welcome. or I just pick the best one and put that one out there.
You know what I've been really big into? And
What?
this is, I'm going to sound like an old hag. Photo albums. And I know it's like a big picture, but maybe you could like...
I think they're coming back. I really do.
No, because I do a lot of like the disposable camera type shit.
I love that you do that.
I was like, I had these stacks of photos. I'm like, I don't know what to do with them. So I just bought a photo album. I started putting them in a photo album. And it's been a really fun thing to throw out when my friends are over, for them to physically go through and we'll be like, oh, I remember when we went to that bar. Like, we one time spent like an hour just going through these photo albums. And it really was nice.
That's
and
so fun.
I wouldn't say I'm like a conspiracy theorist or like a prepper or anything like that. But I don't think it's that out of the question for one day the internet to just never exist anymore. Okay? I think that could very well happen. Or like Facebook could just go away. And for us to just have no photos, like physically, is kind of crazy.
Don't get me down this. There's this theory. Oh my God, what's it called? I'm going to have to look it up. This is what it is. The Carrington event.
I've heard of that.
On TikTok, they like, I have like those spooky things on TikTok are in my algorithm. And it's an extreme solar event that could lead to global air traffic restrictions because of heightened radiation. Basically, like the internet could go down. It could just go down everywhere for like, we don't know how long. Like it could just wipe it all out.
Yeah, well,
and I guess it comes back, but I don't know.
It's not that hard to believe. I've had that thought. For those of you that don't know, LA has been having quite a bit of earthquakes these days. And Dan, my boyfriend, Mr. Kate, as some of you know him as, is a bit paranoid. And is like, you know, if the water lines go down, we're not going to have any water. And like,
does he have the go bag?
He has some things, but not too much, because I don't want people showing up at my house for supplies. Okay, so don't take advantage of that information. But
when it started, oh, sorry, you go.
Well, he just is scared, and like it is a fair point. Like, what would we do?
There's a lot of things you're supposed to do. I have done none of them, but one of them is to have like water and beans and a pair of tennis shoes and all that stuff. When it started shaking the other day, this is so morbid, but like if it happens, it happens. I was like, there's nothing I can do about it right now. So
you're literally a sitting duck.
Hoped it stopped. Yeah.
I didn't even feel it because I was driving and I heard that was like the craziest one.
It was like a hefty one. And of course I'm in my new place, so I don't know if it's like, I don't know if these walls are like all stabilized. Who knows?
I feel like it looks like a newer building, but I guess you'll find out.
Well, I guess we'll all find out.
I've been sick, which is why we're remote today. So I've been taking NyQuil while I've like been going to bed. And I think it was last night. I think I was like hallucinating on my NyQuil because I woke up and my hand was against the wall and I just was like, Dan, we're in an earthquake. Dan, we're having an earthquake. I believed that the room was moving and Dan was just like, no, we're not. And I'm like, Dan, we're having an earthquake.
I've done that with Kyle more than once. And then I figured out what was happening. It's that like when he was moving his feet, it would shake the bed and wake me up. And I thought that's what was happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just a dream for you. Who knows? But I don't know. It's a real threat here.
I even know. And I like it. I even like went on fucking Twitter because I'm like, Twitter will know. And there was no fucking earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. I go to Twitter. Although I will say for this last one, it took like 60 seconds before there was a tweet, which was a little bit longer than I thought it would take. Oh, yeah.
The group chats always are popping off way before Twitter these days.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
I know. So,
are we going to talk about your Vanderpump thing on the Vanderpump episode?
What Vanderpump thing?
Oh, you know, the thing where you just were hanging out with Schwartz and Ally the other night?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Can you believe
Oh, we'll talk about that this episode. I can't believe you're reminding me of my life.
Like, what? This shows like how much craziness goes on. You casually sent me a picture of you, Schwartz, Kennedy, and Ally, right?
I did.
And our friend Christy. What was happening?
Okay.
What was going on?
So Los Angeles and New York are hosting this like Diamonds and Rosé like Bravo themed brunch event. And I got an email that was like, do you want to come to this? It was on Wednesday. It didn't open until Friday. So they're like, you can come a little early and like check it out. So I was like, sure. But I actually did email them. I was like so flattered. I was like, wow, they're reaching out to me. But then I remembered I reached out to them and was like, I'd love to come to this event. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put myself out there.
Yeah, no, hustle, girl.
I thought there was going to be no one there. I literally was like, it's going to be dead. It's going to be weird. We'll just like pop in and whatever. It was fucking packed. There was so many people there. I didn't think there was going to be any like Bravolebs there, but Schwartz was there, James Kennedy was there, and Ally was there. And there were some other Bravolebs there that I actually had to text my mom about. I literally was like taking photos of these women and being like, do you know who this is? It was people from the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Which ones?
One was named Joe, but she was only on the first season. And my mom said,
random.
My mom goes, I can't believe she was even there. Half the people probably don't even know who she is.
That is so random. I'm impressed your mom knew.
And then there was another woman named Katie who's new this season.
Oh, yeah. Katie.
Gina's she goes, Gina's in the purple dress. I don't really care for her either. She's a very obnoxious New York accent. So that was another woman. Do you know who that Gina is?
Gina's OC as well.
I sent one picture. You're probably going to freak out about this one. Alexis and Shannon Bedore's ex.
Oh, John Jansen. Alexis and John Jansen.
I go, I need you to help me identify this person. She goes, that's Shannon Bedore's ex-boyfriend, John, who is now dating Alexis. Tamara calls her Jesus Jugs because she claims to be really religious, but she's got these big fake tits. So that's how I'm like getting all the info of who everyone was. So that was
love how you text with your mother. It's enchanting.
That's how she texts me. I have enough respect. I don't say tits to my mom, okay? I was shocked at how many like Bravolebs are there. And then like at one point, James, Ally, and Tom were all just standing. And I normally never ask for photos because I think it's weird because it's kind of like what I do. I don't know. But I just was like, I looked at my friend Chrissy and I was like, they're right there. Like, we have to get a selfie with them. That would be iconic. And I just was like, hey, do you guys mind if I like take a picture with you real fast? Like, oh, I'll make it really fast, I swear. And they're like, of course. So we take a selfie and I was going to Vegas the following weekend. And I did say to James, I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed we're not going to see you in Vegas because he was going to be there on Friday night. And then he didn't really like respond back to that. But Ally looked at me and she was like, I love your bangs. And I was like, thank you. And she was like, I've been wanting to get bangs, but like, I just don't know if I should. So then bangs are a real conversation starter. Like if you're looking to start peacocking, get bangs. And I was like, oh my God, Ally, like you have straight hair. Like your hair looks similar to mine. Like just get the bangs. If you don't like them, pull them back or grow them out. Like if you want to get them.
I kind of thought she already had bangs.
Well, and I feel like she could really rock, and I told her this, like a long curtain bang.
Bangs, that's what I was thinking.
But I think she should. I think that would, I don't know, she give her a little something.
It gives some volume. Yeah.
But Schwartz didn't stay and talk. Schwartz was, I would say, like probably the most famous person there. So he was kind of all over the place. But yeah, it was a cute little event. I mean, it was just kind of like a Bravo quote on the wall, a photo of this person on the wall, Bravo themed drinks. Like I ordered this summer should be fun, you know? So it was cute. If people want to go, like they can get tickets online. It's like $50. But I don't know if that like includes the food or not. But
is it still going?
Yeah, I think it's going like all throughout the fall. But you want to know who I saw there that like my friend didn't know who it was, and I couldn't be giddy about it with her, but you would be giddy about it. The girl from 90 Day Fiancé. I think her name might be like Natasha. Really curly blonde hair.
Curly blonde hair.
She was there.
Yes.
I was like,
oh my God, why was she there?
Couldn't tell you. And there was also a guy named Courtney who was on The Circle season 2 there. Like there was like lots of random like people. There's probably a million other people there that I didn't even know who they were.
Man, well, maybe I need to email them myself, see if I can get a ticket in.
Yeah, I mean, it was cute. It was cool. It was fun. Glad I went. So what did you think about the Love Island reunion, Carolyn?
I'ma be honest. I don't know if it's because I just was tired today watching it or what, but like a lot of it I kind of tuned out too. Especially when they showed the entire scene of them deciding whether to kick out Andrea or not out of the house. I was like, we don't need to see the whole thing. Like, I think we get it. Like, it was like, I don't know. It felt like years to me.
You are not alone in that. I know you like just watched it, so you probably haven't been seeing much online. That was pretty much the consensus. And I do feel like with that scene, there was so much online discourse of like, did Leah say to vote Andre out? Did she not? So I guess, sure, that unedited, raw, whatever the fuck proved that she didn't, but it just was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a waste of time. I actually just made a TikTok about this too, but I feel like we should talk about this as like talk about the reunion, but not about the Islanders, because it seems like they're already facing so much hate and backlash and like going through so much shit mentally. Like, sure, I have my opinions on how Nicole handled her situation, and I have my opinions on how Aaron handled his situations, but I feel like we should just give them a break, but just talk about the reunion as a whole.
Yeah.
Because
I'm down. This'll be fun.
The whole cyberbullying thing like scared me, and it made me sad, and it sucks that they're going through that.
I liked that they addressed that at the reunion. It was giving. Do you remember when Taylor Swift released Midnights and she had that song Would've, Should've, Could've? And
no,
it's like
Carolyn, I don't remember that. But you're.
I wonder why that's not at the top of your head of things to remember. Because you're such an avid fan, you won't stop talking about her. But it's the best song on the album, and it's about John Mayer. It's about when she was a young kid dating John Mayer, and how she would've, should've, could've, like, wish she hadn't have, basically. And because he was so much older, and she was just kind of like a little bit, it was a sticky situation. He got so much hate that it's rumored that his PR team like asked Taylor like to please, you gotta say something, like you gotta say, he's getting death threats, he's getting all these sorts of things, like whatever. And so she did at her show. One show was like, we're all adults, we've moved on, I don't need you coming at people for me. That was the same energy that Leah was giving when she was like, hey, people out there that are like defending me, I love you, but you don't need to do it. I'm good. We're all good.
I'm glad that I wonder if someone also suggested that she say that, because man, she, like she said in the reunion, she went from 12,000 followers to 3 million followers, and the people that ride for her.
Crazy, which I still don't understand how the leap was that astronomical, but good for her for doing it. And you do have responsibility when you have that many followers to, maintain the peace, especially when there's already been so much hatred around the response and commentary to the show in general.
Yeah, I'm glad that she said that too. There were also some other issues that people were having aside from like the 15-minute fucking unnecessary fire pit scene. Okay, well, did you hear about how there was like supposed to be a part 2 and now there's not a part 2?
No, enlighten me.
So on like the guide, it said Love Island Reunion Part 1, Love Island Reunion Part 2. And apparently someone even commented like on Instagram, like, hey Peacock, when are we getting Part 2? And Peacock responded like, oh, Part 2 will air ASAP, blah, 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 whatever. But then they went back in and changed the reply to there will only be one part. And some people are kind of like, the internet sleuths are sleuthing, and they're kind of like picking apart Part 1 and realizing like, there were some people that sat on that stage that did not say a word. Like Hakeem didn't say a word, right?
Yep.
Or there were things that didn't get addressed. Like Janae was going to call out Connor. Like there are so many things that happened that we didn't get to see, which are leading people to believe that there was a part 2, but something may have happened. Maybe there was some sort of lawsuit, or there was a reason why they couldn't air it, that they ended up not airing it and then frantically just put it all in an hour and 20-minute long one-part reunion.
Well, I'm wondering if it's what we were just talking about. I'm wondering if it's been the extreme cyber response to the show, because up top they addressed it, like they made it very clear. And I'm sure legally they would have, they have a lot of power in their hands if something were to go wrong with one of these cast members. Same thing with Bravo. But Bravo never addressed. At least Love Island was like, hey, let's be nice to everybody.
Yeah, and I do feel like they're already getting enough hate and backlash from people online that what is the point of having everyone sit there and rehash what so-and-so did in Casa and what this person said and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but that is what a reunion is for. It's
exactly.
Just the fandom of this show is just so insane that they are like towing a very delicate line here.
Why do you think there's such a different fan response to Love Island versus, say, Vanderpump? Because I feel like it's the similar audience, but clearly there's some differences to have such a different vibe to the commentary.
Right. It's a really good question, actually. I wonder, just like straight off the cuff, if it's because you're essentially watching Love Island live almost. Like you get an episode every single night. You were watching in real time and you're not seeing such an edited version of these people. Sure, it's edited, but I feel like maybe people see themselves in these people. Like, oh, I'm so Kaylor. Like I would say, like, as I'm watching, Kaylor cracked me the fuck up. Like, I'm like, I could see myself being friends with Kaylor. Or I could see myself being friends with Serena. Like, cause Serena just cracked me up too. It's like, I think you can maybe see yourself in their shoes more than you can see yourselves in the shoes of this like insanely dramatic reality show of these people that have been friends for years and years, where it's like these people are just popped in it's almost like Big Brother, right?
Yeah.
It's like these people are popped in a house and you're just watching them live their lives and you're rooting for them because it is a game show after all.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why people have more stake into this than they would like a Vanderpump or a Summer House, because it is a game show and you want to see certain people win. I don't know.
I still maintain that the game show aspect, if it weren't there, the show would have the exact same following, because you always forget that there's a winner. They get $50,000, which is a lot of money, but compared to the prize pots of like Survivor and everything, it doesn't seem to be as big as it could be if it's the #1 streamed show on Peacock.
The prize pot is pretty small.
Low for what it could be,
right.
Is all I'm saying. Like, it would be a way different show if the prize pot were $1 million. I bet you couples would be acting a lot differently to try to stay in there together. Because I like how they do it now. It's small enough that it's nice to have. It's not necessarily going to change them switching it up or being exciting with other people.
Right. I feel like they almost can't hire it because
exactly.
I don't know that anyone has ever chosen to take the money just for themselves. I don't think that's happened on the UK one. I don't know about the US one. Because, at the end you get to choose. Do you want to keep the money or split it? I think that if people were keeping the money, then it would take away the beauty of the show, right? Like
exactly.
For example, like Love is Blind, right? If Love is Blind didn't have successful couples on season 1, I don't know that it would have continued multiple seasons, because you needed that to prove, see, love truly is blind, right? They need to be able to prove, like, see, like, there are couples that come out of this show.
Yeah. Yep, you're 100% right.
Some other issues that people were having were the Pizza Hut promos. Did you catch them?
So much Pizza Hut. So much Pizza Hut. You love Pizza Hut, though. So I thought you'd be so
Pizza
excited.
Hut. Oh my gosh. And there was so much Pizza Hut in Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
Dude, they are getting their fucking bag this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've got someone on it for sure.
I just realized that. Yeah,
someone
and there was a lot of Coffee Mate. People were pissed about the Pizza Hut promos because they're like, you're in New York City, home of like the most famous
Bleecker
pizza
Street.
ever.
Yeah, whatever.
People were upset that Janae didn't get to read her receipts that she just whipped out, which was fucking hilarious.
So funny. And I can't remember who even it was in response to or why she had them. Like,
I think it was in response to Andrea, when Andrea started speaking, and then Janae was like, well, actually, on the After Sun.
Oh, because she was like saying nasty stuff and revealing, apparently.
Yes.
Apparently.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's going to be so much about this reunion that we'll never really know. I don't think that was the reunion that they originally intended to put out. I'll say that.
Because if you look at it, we really didn't learn anything new. The only new kind of stuff that was revealed, we learned that Aaron did another thing with Daniela that he didn't admit to, which he, like, for some reason didn't admit to till right then. And then Kendall and Nicole's situation. Besides that, I don't think we learned a whole lot, except everyone else is, like, in a happy relationship now, which I would like to point out, is crazy because let's just not forget, after Casa Amor, there was not one man that came in staying to his person except for Aaron, the one guy who shouldn't have.
Kendall did as well.
Kendall, yes. Kendall,
but it was not many, few and far between. No, I agree. I also feel like with the whole Aaron Daniela reveal, personally, I just was like, was that a reveal? Like, I can't even keep up with what did happen and what didn't happen. Like, I just think, and this is an issue that we've dealt with Vanderpump, with all these different reality shows, there is so much. They should have had a contract where they couldn't have gone on any podcast in between the show ending and reunion.
Yeah.
Because there's been so much shit said. Yeah. There was so much reading between the lines that I had to do during this reunion to try to figure out, like, well, wait, where did this information come from? And who said that where? And I'm like trying to piece shit together. And it just, I still feel like there's so much left that I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, I know a lot of shit went down between Connor and Janae after the fact. Connor said some shitty things. It's like, and I just so much went down that I just can't keep up.
I have not been in that rabbit hole in the least. That's why I was confused why Janae had anything to do with Andrea. I was like, why does she have receipts on what?
Well, because she's a ride or die, PPG.
PPG, baby, all the way.
Okay, let's segue into some Vanderpump news.
Okay.
The big shit about Jeremy.
This is confusing. You lead us into it.
Well, basically, long story short, Ariana's brother Jeremy was busted for trying to travel from Florida to Germany, him and an accomplice, I guess him and a friend, with over 100 pounds of weed. But they were stopped at the airport of Florida. But it is confusing because this happened in February, but he's just now going to prison for it. Which, by the way, pretty sure it's like
he's going
prison.
To prison?
I don't think that he's going to jail. I mean, he was trying to travel internationally with 100 pounds of weed. Like, that's gotta be prison.
How long is his sentence?
I think all we know is just that right there.
Is that he was caught trying to, I guess, illegally sell a lot of weed across continental lines, and that is apparently very, very illegal, to go to prison?
Well, I think he already had a bit of a record, but okay. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't really know what the Florida weed laws are, but basically when the agents searched, they had 3 suitcases between the two of them. 2 suitcases were under Jeremy's name, and of the 100 pounds of weed, 76 pounds belonged to Jeremy, and they had 64 bags of pot, which is crazy. Well, Jeremy had 64 bags. The other guy had 31 bags of pot.
It's a lot of pot. And I guess this just goes to show how times have changed, because back in the 90s, he would have been in prison for the rest of his life with that much pot. And now that I'm even questioning, like, oh, that's enough to go to prison, is funny in and of itself. It's legal in the U.S. I guess you can't travel with it.
Well, I've gotten in trouble in 2 different countries for having CBD on me.
No.
Have you never heard that story?
CBD?
Like, booked, like sent to a private room, bags searched. Like, because one was in Canada and one was in Mexico, and the Mexico one was scary. But in Canada, basically, I was going from Canada back into the US, and they were like, do you have anything that you didn't claim? Any money, CBD, food? And I didn't know that CBD was bad, so I was like, I have CBD.
Is
and
it? Like, I thought it was not.
They were like, come with me. And they basically were like, they searched all my bags. I like gave them the CBD that I had. And they were like, this is an international like fine. Like I could get fined like thousands of dollars. And they were like, we genuinely believe you didn't know. So we're going to let you slide, blah, blah. But it was so scary. Like, I was in like a back room. They held on to my passport. I was in there for like 2 hours. Thank God I was like in the airport ahead of time. And then the second time was just me being fucking stupid. And I have it for anxiety, and I brought it to Mexico, and they found my little pen. And this one was a little less, how I say, like government, and more like, give us this amount of money and we won't tell anybody. And I just was like, whatever you want, take my money. Yeah. So all I'm saying is international borders do not fuck around. So I would assume that is why this is such a big deal.
That's good to know, yo.
Yeah.
Make sure your bags are rid of that stuff going through. I did notice when we went to Cabo a couple weeks ago that they're back to like looking at everything on your way out and on your way. I mean, like it was a step up from what it was before.
It's not fucking worth it. It is not worth it. I just having CBD, I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. Like, especially in somewhere like Mexico, I was just like, let's just not take the risk. Let's just not take the risk.
And I thought CBD was like a vitamin, essentially.
Honestly, same. Yeah, so in Jeremy's case, this all happened back in February. The timeline is a little weird because he's just now getting booked for it. In March, so a month after that is when he got engaged to his fiance. So I don't know if he just thought I don't know what he thought. This also kind of explains why there was a rift between Jeremy and Ariana. I don't know if you remember, but he kind of took Sandoval's side, wasn't really saying the nicest things about her. I don't know if this is why there was a rift, but it just could explain why there might have been one.
Yeah. If I were to guess, I see a world where he got in trouble. Once you have your arraignment, your sentencing is a different thing, I think. Oh my God, I'm going to have to look this up and double check. But basically,
it does take time. Yeah.
There's time between it. So I bet he got in trouble for weed and he didn't know how long he was going to be in there. But he was like, if he's close enough to having a fiance, it shouldn't matter how, for what he did, it shouldn't be that long of a time to crush it. Unless it was. I'm going to Google what his sentence was. Do we know?
What are you reading? What are you seeing?
Okay, yeah, you're right. This is really confusing because we don't know exactly how long he's going to be in there, but he could be in there for up to 30 years.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. I feel bad for that. That's, wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's nothing to fuck with, people.
Oh my God.
You have to be really careful. But I think bringing a weed pen is a little different than trying to travel with 100 pounds of weed internationally. So.
For sure. But the fact that you were being bribed or to not have one is still crazy.
Yeah. Extorted may be the word.
That's, yes, exactly.
It was,
the other way.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Jeremy. Just still on Vanderpump Rules news. It's also not official, but I guess Lala and Scheana are joining the Valley after all we've been through.
You know that when Jax went for treatment, they were like, this is our chance.
We have to go and comfort Brittany as much as we can.
Oh, I think they were like, there's going to be a hole. Let's go fill it.
Yeah. So supposedly, exactly, they're there because Jax is not. I still think they were going to be there majority of the season no matter what. I still think, what else are they doing? They're not filming Vanderpump, and those are their friends.
I know, but I really think, I just got the feeling that Peacock really pushed back against them being on the show. But maybe it was nice to have a reason to get them on now that there's kind of a natural introduction to them. Maybe it'll stick. Maybe then they'll get to stay. So maybe that was the best thing that could have happened to them. And I know they wanted to be on it.
Oh, duh. Definitely. And I do believe that they, and I may sound like such a dumbass for even saying this, but I do believe that they may act a bit differently on this show. I think that they understand the backlash they got from Vanderpump, that they weren't girls, that there wasn't enough girl power and blah, blah, blah. And I do think if they were smart, they would take a bit of a back seat, which is kind of a funny Love Island thing. That's all they said on fucking Love Island.
What does it mean?
But they take a bit of a back seat, let the Valley people do their thing, and just kind of act as voices of reason or shoulders to cry on, and not be make it about them. Especially Scheana. Scheana cannot make this about her. It will be the end of her.
No, she's on a last thread here.
But they would be really great to play a neutral ground, play center, be those voices of reasons, be the shoulder to cry on, be a link, which I know it's crazy to even call them voices of reason, but I don't really know what else to say. But they need to just play middle ground characters, at least in the beginning, because people will be really pissed if the Valley starts to become Lala and Scheana Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, or will they? I don't know. Maybe it'll add some more spice that we didn't even know would be even better.
I think it will. Well, we'll see.
Crazy.
The last little bit of news that I had that I saw on Instagram is not confirmed, but it does look like Schwartz is going to be doing a appearance on Summer House this upcoming season. So if that happens, you heard it on Girls Unscripted first. Just because he's been spending a lot of time in the Hamptons, he was posting photos with not only with Kyle and Carl, but with Jesse and Wes too. I don't even think he really knows prior. Obviously, Vanderpump people have done crossovers in the past, but I'm excited for a little Schwartz on Summer House. I think it could be fun.
I always enjoy a good Schwartz commentary. Hell, I even watched the Stars on Mars.
I watched Stars on Mars too.
Just see how he did. He didn't last long, but it was fun to watch.
Here's a little tea for the viewers. I knew someone that worked on Stars on Mars, and apparently Schwartz's nickname was Too Nice Tom.
Oh, well, that's a great nickname.
It's a great nickname. It's a nice nickname, but it just fits him. He's too nice. Too nice Tom.
It's just too nice. It was too much. We've seen him. Well, he was on Winter House as well.
Yeah,
so
I love him. He's good at the
crossover.
He's good at the crossovers. I enjoy
Wow,
him.
what if every Vanderpump cast member just gets off shot to another Bravo show?
Well, was James Kennedy not on Southern Hospitality? You didn't watch season 2, did you?
I haven't watched it.
He was. James Kennedy was on an episode of Southern Hospitality. He was doing a DJ thing with Maddie.
That's so funny. Oh, and you know who else? They've pitched Lala. They've asked on Watch What Happens Live if she would be interested in being a housewife. I think of Beverly Hills.
She should be. And she would be a good one, I think.
I think she'd be a great one.
That's where she belongs. Well, we still have one final episode of Vanderpump Rules to recap.
We do. And it's the reunion. And we technically have two, because we're also going to touch on the secrets revealed, which was pretty revealing. They had long ass scenes that were good scenes that did not make the first season.
And it's funny because watching it back, I thought those scenes were in the first season. So I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was a secret revealed. I remember this from season 1. So
full blown meltdowns that we just did not see.
A lot of meltdowns. So let's go talk about it.
You're rewatching, please go do that. Also, guys, it's my birthday in September, and my only wish is to reach 1,000 YouTube subscribers by then. So September 12th, we are so close. We are in the last mile. I know I sound desperate. That's the point, because I'm desperate for a good birthday. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We love it. We really, really appreciate it. More to come from Girls Unscripted.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And we will see you guys in our Vanderpump episode.
Bye, everyone. Kisses.